The topic that was chosen for me was corruption by Camden Collins. Many people trust our leaders just because they were voted for that position and think that it's the best fit, but it is not always good that they were chosen. Not every leader can be trusted because they have power. I am arguing that Napoleon and Animal Farm by George Orwell and Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea, are both very corrupt people. There are corrupt people everywhere in this world, and you cannot go anywhere to avoid corrupt people. They try to better their lives by ruining yours, and sometimes they are corrupt just because that's what they were taught to do and to be. Corruption happens everywhere, from where you work to the political parties, and many of them get away with it just like Napoleon did. Napoleon is not a good person and should not have been picked to be the leader because he is very corrupt to the other animals in the book. He tells them that their lives are better without the humans, but in reality, they have less food now than they did with the humans. He also takes a lot of food for himself because he says he's smarter than the other animals and needs to be fed more than them. Some examples of Napoleon being corrupt are when he talks about how the pigs don't have to get up early like the other animals because they're better and smarter than the other animals. That is not all true. The animals just believe they are dumb because they are told that. The quote is, "And when some days afterward it was announced that from now on the pigs would get up an hour later in the morning than the other animals, no complaint was made about that either." There was an experiment with kindergartners, and the teacher told them that the ones with blue eyes were very smart and the ones with brown eyes were very dumb. And she gave them a test, and the ones with blue eyes did very well in the test, and the ones with brown eyes bombed the test. Another example of Napoleon being corrupt is when he says that the animals slacked and did not do their job, they would all starve to death. The quote says, Napoleon, on the other hand, argued that the great need of the moment was to increase food production, and that if they wasted time on the windmill, they would all starve to death. Kim Jong-un and Napoleon are not completely the same, but they have some of the same characteristics. A lot of the people think that Kim Jong-un gets a bad representation just because he's the leader of North Korea, and North Korea is a very corrupt country. But he is actually a really bad person, just like Napoleon. He takes advantage of the people of North Korea by giving them little food and taking bribes from them. And also he takes money from them so he can use it on other things he would rather use them on, like nukes. Some examples of Kim Jong-un being corrupt is when it said in the article that he gave the people two choices: to start taking bribes or to starve to death. The quote says, "Thus they had two choices: start taking bribes or to starve." The other one said, "Official corruption still plays this role. Bribes still ensure that officials ignore the booming private economy, which brings modest but palpable improvements in North Korea's economic situation, but remains technically illegal." And these are my citations.